and welcome back to our Oakleaf tutorials on the spooky fun Halloween gourmet cakes that we're doing. I'm Kathy, and if you are just joining in, do make sure to check out the first video in this series. It's our Mummy Unraveled one. Gives you a good introduction into the tools we'll be using today and the buttercream. Again, if you're looking for the buttercream recipe that we're using today, that is going to be linked below. It's our Italian meringue buttercream. Super tasty, super fun. I would recommend it. Our second cake in this series is going to be a super cute jack-o'-lantern cake. Super easy, super fun to do at home, and I don't know, it might be my favorite of the three. Not sure. A little bit like picking favorite children. Who knows? Anyways, so for today I have my cake knife, my cake smoother, a little offset spatula. I of course have 3 layers of cake. That's pretty important. Cake board and my turntable, and I also have 4 colors of frosting. There's the white Italian meringue buttercream that I'm going to be using to fill my cake, but I will also need it to decorate, so if you were doing a different flavor, make sure you still have some white on hand. I also have some black Italian meringue buttercream, and used the black gel dye to color that. And then I also have a good quantity of orange Italian meringue buttercream. I like to mix a combination of orange and yellow dyes to get that color just a little brighter and a little happier, but you make your own choices. And last but not least, you will need a little bit of green buttercream. And I just used the green, leaf green gel for that. So we have everything all set, and we are going to jump right in and get this guy frosted. All right. So we're going to start off by cutting and filling our cake. So I'm going to start off by just leveling these tops. And again, I go over all this in a little more detail in the first video in this series, the mummy cake. So if you want to check that out, but we're just going to zoom ahead here. I'm going to come right down and level the tops. We've got a really lovely fudgy chocolate cake today for these. And I don't know, dark like the inside of a pumpkin before it's lit up. I don't know. All right, so we're just going to put a little bit of frosting to glue that down. Put my first layer on. Boop. That nice and filled. Just gonna real quick crumb coat my sides with the frosting that was pushed out. Now that I got the sides covered, I'm just gonna go back with my cake smoother, pick up some of the extra. Just make those sides nice and smooth. Clear off those peaks at the top. So to decorate our pumpkin, we're going to need a few different tips. The 3 frosting tips, these are the same as from the mummy video. You have your little rose tip, the size 104 rose tip. I have a size 11 round tip, and then a size number 3 round tip. So you'll just want to have those on hand. And I've also filled my 4 piping bags. You will want 4 piping bags for this. You're going to spend a lot of time washing piping bags, but I have one of orange. I also have a bag of white, a bag of black, and a bag of green. So you might just want to have those on hand. Also, just as a fun side note, if you do not have piping bags at home, but you do have big Ziploc bags, those will always work in a pinch. So something to keep in mind. Anyways, I'm going to start off with my bag of orange. I'm just going to pop that little rose tip on. Use the coupler to secure it. And just like with the mummy, I'm going to make sure the bag is vertical, the skinnier side is facing down, and I'm going to start piping ribbons, starting from the bottom and working my way all the way up to the top. Now, in the mummy tutorial, we talked about how it's okay if they're a little wonky. With your pumpkin, the effect will look the best if your ribbons are very straight and very neat. But again, if they aren't, that's fine. It's cool. He's a pumpkin with personality. It's all about the personality. All right, so let's get piping. All right. Spiraling all the way up to the top, giving my hand a break. This is when good hand strength comes into play. All right. Once you've got the sides all covered, I'm going to go ahead, turn that bag flat. Make sure the skinny side is pointing out toward the edge of the cake, and just pipe on the top in another spiral. Cool. So now that I have my sides covered, I'm just going to go in and start adding my little jack-o'-lantern details, add my face. I think I'm going to go with a little more of a classic pumpkin look today with the little triangle eyes and a little wee smile, but you can of course customize your pumpkin to look however you like. So I'm going to start with not that bag, with the black bag with the size 11 tip on to make my eyes. So I'm just going to pipe 2 triangles. Shoop. And another. I'm going to try and make them about the same. And I always like to go in with my little offset spatula and just smooth those lines a little bit. It's an optional step, you don't have to do this, but. All right, and then I'm gonna grab that black bag again and just do a little happy smile. Aw, yay, he's so happy. And then just go back with that offset and try to smooth out the pipe lines. All right, and then I always like to add a little eye white whenever I do faces. So I'm just gonna grab the white bag with that number 3 tip. And I'm just gonna do a little dot right in the center of each, or center bottom of each eye. Oh, look at him, he's so happy. All right, so that's my face. La, so cute. So for the last step, I'm just going to add a little stem to the top of my pumpkin. So I'm going to grab that bag of green once again with the size 11 tip. And so I'm going to do basically think of like a triangle points. I'm going to squeeze in the middle and pull out to make sort of a little teardrop. 1, 2, 3, sort of like 3 spokes out of a really weird wheel. I don't know. That's going to be sort of the bottom of the stem, and then holding my bag straight up and down, I'm just going to sort of pipe a little wibbly, shaking the bag back and forth, gives it some ridges, and just give them a little boop stem there. If it ends up a little rounded, you can always sort of just level the top a bit with your offset. And you know, if you're feeling fun, you can grab that number 3 tip. I may or may not have an extra of. Where did I put it? Ah. You can also just grab that number 3 tip with your green. And just pipe some little curly vines coming off. Yeah. I think that looks pretty cute. So, voila! So there you have your happy jack-o'-lantern cake. Thus concludes our second of our 3 Halloween cake videos. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please click on ahead to our 3rd video, which we will be covering Frankenstein. And again, the mummy video is part 1. You will find a much more detailed overview of our tools there. We will have our frosting recipe linked below. And as always, if you are liking these videos, please click to subscribe. We would super love that and appreciate it. But we'll be back very shortly for Halloween number 3 in these cute little Halloween cakes.